Hello, wolves of the dark. This is Ice the Wolf, and today we're going to delve into the depths of a mystery that defies reason. Brace yourselves, because the story I bring involves whispers from the past and shadows that refuse to disappear. It's a chilling reminder that not everything you see is real, and not everything that is real can be seen. Before I open the Book of Secrets, I need a favor from you. If you're new here or not yet part of our pack, click the subscribe button right now. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss any of our spine-chilling stories. I guarantee you won't want to be left out when the lights go out. Our story today takes us to a forgotten village, nestled among dense mountains and surrounded by a forest that seems to hold ancient secrets. There, in a secluded clearing, sits an ancient, dark wooden house, known to the locals only as the Empty House. They say no one dares stay there for more than a night. Decades ago, the Miller family, newly arrived and full of hope, bought the property, ignoring the whispered warnings of the residents. They were young, optimistic, and believed they could make the old house a home. But just 3 months after moving in, they simply disappeared, without a trace, without explanation, as if swallowed by the darkness itself. The police investigated, of course, but found nothing but unlocked doors and unmade beds. The residents, however, had their own theories. They spoke of shadows dancing in the windows at night, whispers echoing from the basement, and a presence not of this world. The house, they said, possessed an insatiable hunger. Years passed, and the Miller story became an urban legend, a dark fairy tale meant to scare children. Until a group of young adventurers, driven by curiosity and audacity, decided to challenge fate. They heard the legend, and on a full moon, made a bold bet. Spend a night in the empty house. Flashlights in hand and hearts pounding, they crept into the property under the cover of dawn. The air was heavy, heavy with the smell of mold and something else, something ancient and malevolent. With each step through the tall grass, the feeling that they were being watched intensified. They knew they were not alone. As they opened the creaking door, a glacial cold enveloped them, despite the mild night. The darkness inside seemed to have a density of its own, swallowing the light from their flashlights. Dust and cobwebs covered everything. But the feeling that the house was alive was undeniable. They could feel invisible eyes upon them. As they explored the ruined rooms, one of the young men, Leo, swore he heard a whisper coming from upstairs. It was a faint, barely audible voice calling his name. The others didn't hear it, but the shiver that ran down Leo's spine was very real. They tried to ignore it, but fear was beginning to set in. They gathered in the living room, trying to build a makeshift fire in the fireplace. Suddenly, a locked door in the corner of the room, which they had tried earlier, creaked and slowly opened. There was no wind, no one around, just the door swinging open into an even deeper darkness. From the dark room beyond the door, a faint, distorted melody began to emerge, like a broken music box. It was a lullaby, childish, but with a tone that chilled the blood. The melody seemed to come from nowhere, and everywhere at once, filling the house with a palpable terror. It was then that Laura, the most skeptical of the group, saw it. At the end of the dark corridor, a translucent, childlike figure floated, its empty eyes fixed on them. The silhouette resembled that of a girl, dressed in ancient garb, and its presence emitted a chill that went beyond the visitor. It made no sound, just floated, observing. Panic set in. The figure began to slowly advance, and the temperature in the room plummeted even further, causing their breath to condense in the air. Suddenly, objects began to be thrown from the dark room, and the flashlights flickered wildly. The entity didn't just want to scare them, it wanted to drive them away. They didn't think twice. With a unanimous scream of terror, the young people ran toward the front door, tripping over their own feet and each other. The music box's melody intensified, almost a wail, and the childish laughter echoed behind them, closer than it should ever have been. Running was their only option. They never looked back, They ran without stopping until the house was just a dark dot on the horizon. The young people survived the night in the empty house, but they didn't emerge unscathed. The scars of that encounter, the inexplicable chills and vivid nightmares, would haunt them forever. The house kept its secrets, but left its scar. The empty house wasn't just an abandoned place, it was a portal to something we don't understand. An entity that feeds on fear, or perhaps a trapped spirit, seeking a liberation that never comes. This story reminds us that there are dimensions beyond our comprehension, and that some doors should never be opened. And you, Wolf, have you ever had an encounter with the inexplicable? A house that called to you, a whisper that sent a chill down your spine. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story could be the next one we uncover here on the channel.